Chosen one, why are you awake at 3 a.m.? Why does your chest feel like it's carrying the weight of eternity? Why does the 16th of July keep echoing in your spirit like a bell that won't stop ringing? You think it's anxiety. You think it's getting older. You think it's just life. But what if I told you that restlessness isn't random? What if that ache in your bones isn't arthritis, it's anticipation? What if heaven is trying to tell you something and you've been medicating the message? Listen to me carefully, chosen one. If you're seeing this message right now, at this exact moment, you were meant to, not by chance, not by algorithm, by divine appointment. The calendar says the 16th of July is just another Tuesday. Heaven says it's a divine threshold. Something is shifting. Can you feel it? That electricity in the air that makes your spirit tremble. That's not fear, beloved. That's recognition. Your soul knows what your mind hasn't figured out yet. For months, maybe years, you've been carrying something heavy. A burden that feels too big for your shoulders. A calling that seems impossible. A dream that everyone else calls foolish. What if the pain you've been carrying isn't pain at all, but preparation? The earth is quiet before a divine earthquake. And the 16th of July, it's the rumble before the breakthrough. I need you to understand something. This isn't about dates on a calendar. This is about divine timing breaking through the ordinary. This is about God saying, enough. It's time. If your chest feels tight right now, if your spirit feels stirred, if something deep inside you is saying yes before your mind can catch up, don't ignore it. That's confirmation. That's your spirit recognizing truth. Comment right now, I'm ready for the shift. Don't think about it. Just do it. Let heaven know you're listening. Before we go deeper, I want to thank every single one of you who has supported this message through Super Thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just donating. You're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling. Whether you give or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here. Your support, your time, your attention, it all matters. And if this message resonates with your soul, go ahead and sow that seed of faith. But right now, I need you to stay with me. Because what I'm about to reveal will change how you see the 16th of July forever. The shift isn't coming, beloved. It's already here. Why do you keep waking up at the same time every night? Why does your heart race when you see certain numbers on the clock? Why does the 16th of July feel like it's pulling at your soul from across time itself? You've been telling yourself it's just stress, just age, just coincidence. But deep down, you know better. Your spirit has been trying to tell you something your mind refuses to accept. Time isn't just passing, beloved. Time is preparing. Listen to me carefully. There are things shifting behind the scenes of your life that your mind hasn't caught up to yet. Forces moving. Prayers being answered in ways you never expected. Doors unlocking that you didn't even know existed. And the 16th of July? It's the moment when the invisible becomes visible. You see, most people think timing is random. They believe life just happens to them, like they're passengers on a runaway train with no conductor. But that's not how God operates. That's not how his universe works. Noah didn't build the ark when the rain started. He built it when the skies were still blue. Abraham didn't pack his bags when he could see the promised land. He moved when all he had was a word from God. Moses didn't wait for the Red Sea to part before he raised his staff. He stepped forward in faith, and heaven responded. The divine clock doesn't tick like our clocks. It doesn't measure seconds and minutes. It measures readiness. It measures alignment. It measures the exact moment when your faith collides with God's timing and miracles become inevitable. The 16th of July isn't superstition, dear one. It's spiritual alignment. It's the moment when decades of preparation converge into a single point of breakthrough. It's when your wilderness season ends and your promised land begins. But here's what's breaking my heart. I see so many of you fighting this feeling, pushing down that inner knowing, telling yourselves you're being foolish for believing that dates matter, that timing matters, that God speaks through the rhythm of days and seasons. You've survived too much for this to be coincidence. Think about it. Every loss that nearly broke you but didn't. Every door that slammed shut just to redirect you somewhere better. Every night you cried out to God, wondering if He was even listening. Every moment you felt forgotten, overlooked, passed by. None of it was wasted. All of it was preparation. The same God who set the stars in their courses, who commands the seasons to change, who causes the sun to rise at the exact moment every single day, that God has been orchestrating the timing of your breakthrough. And the 16th of July is when His patience with your waiting ends. You feel it, don't you? That restlessness that won't let you sleep, that urgency that makes you check the calendar over and over. That sense that something massive is building, like pressure behind a dam that's about to burst. That's not anxiety, beloved. That's anticipation. Your spirit recognizes what your mind hasn't accepted yet. Change is coming. Not the kind of change you can plan for or control. The kind that splits your life into before and after. Ecclesiastes 3:1 tells us, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. Your season of waiting is ending. Your season of breakthrough is beginning. And the transition point? The 16th of July. But here's the truth that's going to shake you. You're not ready for what's coming if you keep living like it's not coming. You can't receive a divine visitation while you're spiritually asleep. You can't walk through doors that require faith if you're paralyzed by fear. The divine clock is ticking, and it's ticking toward your moment, toward your miracle, toward the answer to prayers. You stopped praying because you thought God had forgotten. He hasn't forgotten. He's been preparing. Every injustice you've endured has been building a case for your vindication. Every tear you've cried has been stored in bottles for your celebration. Every prayer you've whispered has been accumulating interest for your reward. And the 16th of July, that's when the compound interest of your faithfulness comes due. I need you to understand something that most believers never grasp. God's timing isn't about convenience, it's about maximum impact. He doesn't move when it's easy. He moves when it's necessary, when your faith has been stretched to its limit, when your hope has been refined by fire, when your character has been forged in the furnace of adversity. That's when He says, "Now." You've been wondering why nothing seems to work out on your timeline, why prayers seem to take so long to answer, why breakthrough feels like it's always just out of reach. It's because God has been waiting for the 16th of July, the exact moment when your preparation meets His purpose, when your readiness aligns with His plan, when the timing is so perfect that no one can take credit except Him. If something inside you is whispering, "Pay attention," write it down. That's not imagination, that's alignment. Your spirit is syncing with heaven's frequency, and the 16th of July is the day that frequency becomes clear signal. But I have to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. Are you going to keep fighting this feeling, or are you going to surrender to what God is trying to do? You've always known you were different, haven't you? That feeling that's followed you through 7 decades of life, through marriages and funerals, through children's births and empty nests. That sense that you don't quite fit in anywhere, not completely. Everyone told you it was loneliness. Your family said it was just getting older. The doctors called it depression. But deep in your bones, you knew it was something else entirely. That feeling wasn't loneliness, beloved. It was calling. Listen to what God spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." Jeremiah 1-5. Before your first breath, before your first heartbreak, before your first grey hair, God had already marked you. Not with something you could see in the mirror, but with something heaven recognizes instantly. You carry the mark of the chosen. Now I know what you're thinking. I'm 75 years old. If God chose me for something special, wouldn't it have happened by now? You look at your weathered hands, your slower step, your quieter voice, and you wonder if maybe God's timing got mixed up somewhere. But what if I told you that everything you've lived Through every loss, every disappointment, every night you cried yourself to sleep, wondering if anyone saw you. What if all of that wasn't God forgetting you, but God preparing you? You thought the world got quieter because you were growing older. The phone rings less. The invitations stopped coming. Your opinions don't seem to matter as much in family discussions anymore. But what if it's not quieter because you're aging? What if it's quieter because you're about to be called forward? Think about Moses, 80 years old when God met him at that burning bush. 80. Most people his age were sitting by their fires, telling stories about the old days. But God said, "Moses, now you're ready. Now you understand suffering. Now you know what it means to be overlooked. Now you can lead my people." The mark you carry isn't visible to human eyes, but it broadcasts on a frequency that heaven can't ignore. It's why strangers sometimes look at you twice. It's why children gravitate toward you at the grocery store. It's why people tell you their secrets in checkout lines. You think it's because you're harmless, because you're old and safe. But that's not it at all. They sense something in you that they can't name. A depth, a weight, a presence that comes from carrying God's fingerprint on your soul. Here's what breaks my heart. Most of you think your best years are behind you. You think your purpose was raising kids, building careers, surviving marriages. You think now you're supposed to just wait. Wait for grandchildren to visit. Wait for doctor appointments. Wait for the end. But what if everything you've been through was just the preparation? What if every tear you've cried, every prayer you've whispered in the dark, every time you've felt invisible and forgotten, what if all of that was God developing your spiritual muscles for something bigger than you've ever imagined? The mark of the chosen isn't about age, beloved. It's about readiness. And you don't become ready by living an easy life. You become ready by learning how to trust God when nothing makes sense. By discovering that His love doesn't abandon you when everyone else does. By finding out that your worth isn't measured by how busy you are or how needed you feel. David wasn't chosen as a young warrior. He was chosen as a forgotten shepherd boy, the one his own father didn't think was worth calling to the family meeting. But God said, "That one, the overlooked one, the one who knows what it means to be alone with me in the fields. That's my king." You've been alone with God in your fields too, haven't you? Those years when the house felt too quiet. Those seasons when you questioned if your life had mattered at all. Those nights when you wondered if anyone would remember you were here. But here's the truth that will shake you to your core. Every moment you felt abandoned, God was actually drawing closer. Every season you felt forgotten, heaven was taking notes. Every time you stayed faithful when no one was watching, that's when the mark on your soul grew brighter. The 16th of July is approaching, and I need you to understand something crucial. The shift that's coming isn't for the young and ambitious. It's not for the ones who have it all figured out. It's for the overlooked, the underestimated, the ones who've learned that their strength comes from above, not from within. You carry a frequency that this broken world desperately needs. Not your energy, that's not what we're talking about. Your wisdom, your perspective, your unshakable knowledge that God is faithful even when life isn't fair. The generation coming up behind you is drowning in noise, confusion, and fear. They need someone who's walked through the valley of the shadow of death and come out knowing that God's rod and staff really do comfort. They need someone who's learned that joy doesn't come from getting what you want, but from trusting who you belong to, that someone is you. If you've ever cried alone but still felt carried, if you've ever felt invisible to the world but known that heaven sees you, if you've ever wondered why you're still here when so many others have gone home, comment right now, "I carry the mark." Because the shift isn't just coming to change your circumstances, it's coming to activate the calling that's been quietly growing inside you all along. And the 16th of July, that's when heaven stops whispering and starts shouting your name. You've lost people. You've watched dreams fade. You've sat in silence while life moved on without you. That marriage that crumbled after 37 years. That child who stopped calling. That business you built with your bare hands, only to watch it slip through your fingers like sand. The diagnosis that changed everything. The betrayal that cut so deep you wondered if your heart would ever beat the same again. And somewhere in the middle of all that wreckage, you asked the question that haunts every believer. God, where were you? Let me tell you something that might shake you to your core. What if I told you that every tear you've cried, every sleepless night you've endured, every moment you felt abandoned, what if none of it was random? What if it was all part of something so much bigger than your understanding? You see, we've been taught to believe that pain is punishment. That suffering means God is angry, that loss equals abandonment. But that's not the gospel, that's not truth, that's fear talking. Look at Job, everything stripped away. Wealth, children, health gone. His own wife told him to curse God and die. But listen to what Job declared in his darkest hour. Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him. Job 13:15. That wasn't blind faith. That was a man who understood something we've forgotten. The fire didn't burn him, it branded him. Joseph, thrown into a pit by his own brothers. Sold into slavery, falsely accused. Forgotten in prison for years. If pain was punishment, Joseph should have been destroyed. But Genesis 50:20 tells us what really happened. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good. Every betrayal, every injustice, every year of waiting it, was positioning him for purpose. And Naomi lost her husband, lost both sons. So broken she changed her name to Mara, which means bitter. She thought God had dealt harshly with her, but through her pain came Ruth. Through Ruth came Boaz. Through their lineage came David. Through David's line came Jesus Christ himself. Can you see it? The thread, the divine pattern weaving through the wreckage. Your pain was never random, beloved. It was recruitment. Every time life knocked you down, you got back up. Every time your heart shattered, somehow you found the pieces. Every time you wanted to quit, something deep inside you whispered, "Not yet." That wasn't coincidence. That was divine DNA activating in your spirit. You think you're broken. You're not broken. You're being broken open. There's a difference. Broken things are discarded. Things that are broken open release what's been hidden inside. And what's been hidden inside you? Purpose. Power, a testimony that could move mountains, a story that could save someone's life, a strength that only comes from surviving what should have destroyed you. This is what the world doesn't understand about God's chosen ones. We're not chosen because we're perfect. We're chosen because we're willing to be perfected through the process. We're not selected because we're strong. We're selected because we're willing to be strengthened through the struggle. The 16th of July is approaching, and I need you to understand why this moment matters. For years, you've been asking, when will this pain make sense? That date isn't just another day on the calendar. It's a divine appointment where your preparation meets your purpose. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every loss taught you what truly matters. Every night you cried yourself to sleep, you were being prepared for a morning when you'd wake up knowing exactly who you are and why you're here. The enemy thought he was destroying you. God was developing you. You were never forgotten, beloved. You were being forged. In the furnace of your affliction, something unbreakable was being formed. Isaiah 48:10 says it plainly, I have refined you, though not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction. Silver melts. But you emerged harder than diamonds and more precious than gold. This is transmutation, the divine ability to convert suffering into purpose, to transform wounds into wisdom, to turn your mess into your message, and every chosen one carries this supernatural capacity. Your scars aren't signs of defeat, they're marks of distinction. They're proof that you survived what others couldn't. They're evidence that when hell came for you, heaven held you. But here's what I need you to grasp with everything in you. This pain you've carried, this story you've lived, this journey that nearly broke you, was never about you alone. It was about everyone you're going to reach, everyone you're going to encourage, everyone who's going to look at your life and say, if they made it through that, maybe I can make it through this. Your pain has been preparing you for your pulpit. Your wilderness has been preparing you for your ministry. Your midnight has been preparing you for your message. The 16th of July is when heaven says, the preparation is complete. Now step into your purpose. But I need to know something. Are you ready to stop seeing yourself as a victim and start walking as a victor? Are you ready to stop nursing those wounds and start using them to heal others? Declare it right now. Type it in the comments. Say it out loud. Let the angels hear you. My pain has purpose. Let that be your offering tonight. Because something tells me that everything you've been through, everything you've survived, everything that tried to destroy you, it's all been leading to what's about to happen on the 16th of July. The question isn't whether you're ready. The question is, will you rise? You know what breaks my heart? Some people will scroll right past their breakthrough. They'll see the 16th of July come and go like any other day. They'll feel that stirring in their chest and call it heartburn. They'll sense heaven moving and blame it on the weather. But not you. You're still here. You're still listening. And that tells me everything I need to know about your destiny. This message isn't viral, beloved. It's surgical. God didn't bring you here to entertain you. He brought you here to operate on the very thing that's been blocking your breakthrough for decades. Listen to me carefully. The shift that's coming on the 16th of July isn't happening to the world. It's happening to you. While millions of people are distracted by their phones, their problems, their petty complaints, God is whispering your name. He's saying, this one is ready. But ready for what? Ready to finally step into the calling you've been running from your whole life. Ready to stop making excuses for why you can't do what God has been asking you to do. Ready to quit playing small when heaven designed you for greatness. You see, most people think divine timing is about waiting for God. But what if I told you that God has been waiting for you? What if the 16th of July isn't about when God decides to move, but when you finally decide to stop resisting? The elevator is rising, chosen one. The question isn't whether God is moving. The question is, will you step in or stand still? For too long you've been standing at the threshold. You've felt the calling, you've sensed the stirring. You've heard the whisper of your name in the quiet moments. But you've hesitated, you've doubted. You've said, maybe next year, maybe when I'm ready, maybe when I have more faith. But God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. And the 16th of July, that's your qualification day. I need you to understand something that might shock you. The reason you've been carrying that weight, that burden, that sense of unfulfilled purpose, it's not because you're broken, it's because you're chosen. The enemy doesn't waste his time attacking ordinary people. He attacks those who carry extraordinary destinies. Think about Moses. 80 years old, stuttering shepherd, wanted for murder. By every human standard, he was disqualified. But God said, Moses, it's time. And that burning bush moment changed everything, not just for Moses, but for an entire nation. Think about Sarah, 90 years old, barren, laughing at God's promise. But when divine timing collided with human impossibility, Isaac was born. The miracle child, the promise fulfilled. Think about David. Too young, too small, forgotten by his own father. But when the moment came, when Goliath stood mocking the armies of the living God, David stepped forward. Not because he felt ready, because it was time. What giant are you facing today? What impossibility has been mocking your faith? What voice has been telling you that you're too old, too tired, too late? The 16th of July is your David moment. But here's what I need you to grasp with every fiber of your being. This shift isn't just about you receiving something from God. It's about God finally being able to use you for what He's been planning all along. You think you've been waiting for your breakthrough, but heaven has been waiting for your yes. The prophet Isaiah saw this moment. Under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit, he wrote these words that echo through time directly to you. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Arise, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel more spiritual. Arise now. Shine. Not when you have your life figured out, not when you lose those extra pounds, not when your bank account looks better. Shine now, with all your cracks and scars and imperfections. For your light has come, your moment, your season. You're the 16th of July. But I need to ask you something, and I need you to be brutally honest with yourself. What if you've been your own biggest obstacle? What if the very thing you've been praying to be delivered from is actually the thing God wants to use to deliver others? Your pain, your struggle, your seemingly impossible situation. What if it's not your prison, it's your platform? The woman at the well. 5 failed marriages, living in shame, hiding from community. But when Jesus met her at that well, her broken story became the very thing that brought revival to an entire city. The thief on the cross, criminal, dying, no time left for religious performance, but in his last moments, he found faith, and Jesus promised him paradise. Your age doesn't disqualify you, it qualifies you. Every wrinkle tells a story of endurance. Every gray hair represents wisdom earned through fire. Every ache in your bones proves you've survived what was meant to destroy you. The 16th of July isn't asking you to be younger, it's asking you to be wiser. It's not asking you to have more energy. It's asking you to use the energy you have with divine purpose. Type yes. If you know something is shifting inside you right now, don't just watch, participate. Let heaven know you're not just a spectator in your own story. You're ready to be the main character God always intended you to be. Because what's about to happen on the 16th of July will require your participation. God won't force this shift on you. He's offering it to you, but you have to reach out and take it. The question that will determine your destiny is simple. When heaven extends its hand on the 16th of July, will you grab it? You know what's haunting me right now? What's keeping me up at night thinking about you, chosen one? It's this question that heaven keeps whispering in my spirit. What if the one blocking the shift is you? I know that stings. I know your first instinct is to push back, to say that's not fair, or you don't understand my situation. But stay with me here, because what I'm about to tell you might be the most important truth you hear this side of eternity. You've been praying for breakthrough. You've been crying out for change. You've been asking God why the doors won't open, why the healing won't come, why the promise feels so far away. But what if the very thing you're searching for is being held back by the person you've allowed yourself to become? Let me paint you a picture. There's a mirror in heaven with your name on it. Not the bathroom mirror that shows your wrinkles and gray hair. This mirror shows your soul. And for too many of you, that reflection has been clouded by years of settling, years of making excuses, years of whispering to yourself, I'm too old, it's too late, God has forgotten about me. Listen to me carefully. The enemy's greatest weapon against the elderly isn't sickness, it isn't loneliness. It's the lie that your time is up, that your purpose expired with your youth, that God only uses the young and the beautiful and the strong. That's a damned lie straight from the pit of hell. You want to know what's blocking your shift? It's the internal dialogue that sounds like this. I should have done this 20 years ago. I should have been braver. I should have trusted God more. Now look at arthritic hands, failing eyesight, social security checks. What could God possibly do with this? Stop it. Stop that poisonous thinking right now. Moses was 80 years old when God called him to lead Israel out of Egypt. 80. When most people are measuring their lives in doctor's appointments and medication schedules, Moses was just getting started on his greatest assignment. Exodus 7:7 says, Moses was 80 years old and Aaron 83 when they spoke to Pharaoh. Think about that. 80 years old, and God said, now you're ready. Colonel Sanders was 65 when he got his first Social Security check. Instead of retiring to a rocking chair, he took his chicken recipe and got rejected 1,009 times before someone said yes. At 65, he built an empire that's still feeding the world today. Grandma Moses didn't start painting until she was 78. 78! When her arthritis made embroidery too painful, she picked up a paintbrush and became one of America's most celebrated artists. She painted over 1,500 works and was still creating masterpieces at 100 years old. But here's what breaks my heart about your story. You're sitting there convinced that because you're past 60, past 70, past 80, that somehow God's plan for you has expired. You're looking at Nelson Mandela, who walked out of prison at 71 and became president at 75, and thinking, that's nice for him, but my time is over. No, beloved. Your time is now. But first, you've got to unlock the gates you've built around your own potential. And the key isn't in your circumstances, it's in your mirror. What do you see when you look at yourself? Do you see a has-been or a becoming? Do you see a senior citizen or a seasoned warrior? Do you see the end of your story, or the climax that everyone's been waiting for? Because I'll tell you what God sees. He sees Joseph, who interpreted Pharaoh's dreams and saved nations during a famine. He sees Caleb, who at 85 said, "Give me this mountain," and conquered giants. He sees Anna, the prophetess, who was 84 when she recognized the infant Jesus as the Messiah. Your age isn't your limitation, it's your qualification. But you've got to stop hiding behind it. You've got to stop using your years as an excuse for why you can't answer the call. You've got to stop looking in that mirror and seeing everything you're not instead of everything God has been preparing you to become. The brutal truth: some of you have been carrying a key to your breakthrough for decades, but you've convinced yourself it doesn't fit anymore because your hands are older, your back is stiffer, your memory isn't what it used to be. God doesn't need your perfect memory. He needs your willing heart. God doesn't need your young body. He needs your seasoned spirit. God doesn't need your flawless past. He needs your faithful future. Right now, I need you to have an honest conversation with yourself. What dream did you bury because someone told you that you were too old? What calling did you ignore because you thought you'd missed your window? What potential are you carrying to the grave because you believed the lie that God's best gifts are only for the young? I can hear some of you right now. Am I too late? Is it too far gone? Have I missed my moment? You are right on divine time. The 16th of July isn't about God finally remembering you exist. It's about you finally remembering who you are. It's about you looking in that mirror and seeing what heaven has always seen: a chosen vessel, refined by time, seasoned by trial, ready for the greatest assignment of your life. Stop apologizing for your age and start celebrating your advantage. Stop hiding behind your limitations and start walking in your legacy. Whisper it to yourself if you must: I am still chosen, and I will not die with this potential locked inside me. The shift isn't waiting for you to get younger. It's waiting for you to get bolder. You know what breaks my heart? Walking through nursing homes and seeing warriors sitting in wheelchairs, convinced their best days are behind them. Watching 70-year-olds apologize for taking up space. Listening to 80-year-olds whisper, "I guess my time is over." Over. Let me tell you something that's going to shatter every lie you've believed about aging in America. You think retirement means retreat. You think Medicare means you're on the shelf. You think because your knees creak and your back aches that heaven is done with you. You couldn't be more wrong. This is no longer about comfort. This is about calling. While the world tells you to slow down, settle down, quiet down, God is saying, rise up. While society pushes you to the margins, heaven is pulling you to the center. While your own family treats you like you're fragile, the Almighty is declaring you formidable. You were not born 70, 80, 90 years ago by accident. You didn't survive the Great Depression, World War II, the Cold War, Vietnam, 9/11s, COVID, and every storm in between just to play bingo in your final act. You survived to serve. You endured to emerge. You overcame to overcome again. Heaven's not calling influencers with millions of followers. Heaven's calling intercessors with decades of faithfulness. God's not looking for the young and strong. He's looking for the tested and proven. He's not seeking the trending. He's seeking the tried. Do you understand what you carry? You carry prayers that have been refined by fire. You carry wisdom that can't be Googled. You carry authority that comes only from walking through hell and choosing heaven anyway. You are not here to retire. You are here to reign. But here's what the enemy doesn't want you to know. The 16th of July isn't just another date. It's a divine activation. It's the moment heaven says, enough hiding, enough apologizing, enough believing the lie that your season is over. Your season isn't over. Your greatest season is just beginning. Listen to me. Queen Esther wasn't a teenager when she saved the Jewish nation. She was a mature woman who understood timing, strategy, and the weight of destiny. And when Mordecai confronted her with the truth, he didn't say, maybe someday you'll be used. He said, who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Such a time as this, not yesterday, not tomorrow, this. What if stay with me, what if? Every year you've lived, every scar you've earned, every tear you've cried, every mountain you've climbed was preparation for the 16th of July. What if God wasn't getting you ready for retirement? What if he was getting you ready for release? You think your arthritis disqualifies you? Moses had a speech impediment. You think your heart condition limits you? David had a broken heart. You think your age makes you irrelevant? Abraham was 99 when God gave him Isaac. God doesn't retire his generals, he refines them. And right now, as the 16th of July approaches, heaven is assembling an army. Not of the young and inexperienced, an army of the weathered and wise. Not soldiers who've read about war, veterans who've won wars. You are the answered prayer your generation has been waiting for. Your children are struggling with marriages you fought to save. Your grandchildren are battling depression you conquered decades ago. Your community is facing challenges you've already overcome. And instead of sitting on the sidelines believing you're too old to matter, God is saying, get up, speak up, step up. Your voice carries weight that no young prophet can match. The prayers you prayed in your 20s, they're being answered through your 70s. The seeds you planted in your 30s, they're bearing fruit in your 80s. The battles you fought in your 40s, they trained you for the victory you'll lead in your 90s. The 16th of July is your moment to stop apologizing for taking up space and start claiming the space God assigned you. This isn't about age, this is about authority. This isn't about energy, this is about anointing. This isn't about how many years you have left. This is about how much power you're willing to release in the years you have remaining. The young generation is drowning in confusion. They need your clarity. They're paralyzed by choices. They need your decision. They're overwhelmed by noise. They need your voice. But you can't give what you won't claim. You can't release power you don't believe you possess. You can't lead from a place of apology. So I'm asking you now, I'm commanding you to stop shrinking, stop whispering, stop tiptoeing through your golden years like you're afraid to disturb anyone. Disturb them. Shake them awake. Show them what faith looks like when it's been tested by time and proven by fire. Comment right now. I say yes, not someday, not when I feel ready, not when my circumstances improve. Now, say yes to the 16th of July. Say yes to your calling. Say yes to the truth that your best chapter is still being written. And if you feel led, share this message. Someone you love needs to hear this. Someone in your family, your church, your neighborhood is sitting in a recliner, believing their race is over when God is calling them to the starting line. Because what's about to happen on the 16th of July will require every warrior heaven has been preparing. And you, beloved veteran of faith, you are not just invited to this battle. You were born to lead it. 7 days from now, everything changes. Not gradually, not eventually. 7 days. I need you to understand what's about to unfold in your life, chosen one, because most people will experience this shift and never even know it happened. They'll feel something different in the air, something electric, something sacred, and they'll dismiss it as stress or weather or getting older. But you're not most people. You're here. You're listening. You're awake. 7 days from now, your spiritual alignment begins. Let me tell you what that means in real terms, in your real life. That conversation you've been avoiding, it's going to happen, and it's going to go differently than you expect. That door you thought was permanently closed, it's going to creak open. That person who hurt you, who you never thought would reach out, your phone is going to ring. You'll feel things move, conversations will shift, people will be sent. This isn't wishful thinking, beloved. This is how God operates when divine timing collides with human readiness. He doesn't send a memo. He doesn't announce it on the evening news. He simply moves. Remember Moses at the burning bush? One moment he's tending sheep, thinking about ordinary things. The next moment, his entire destiny is rewritten because he was in the right place at the right time with the right heart. Exodus 3-4 says, "When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush." God calls when you're positioned to hear. 7 days from now, you'll be positioned. But here's what breaks my heart, and listen carefully, because this could be the difference between breakthrough and missed opportunity. Some of you will feel the air change and know. You'll sense the shift in your spirit. You'll recognize the divine fingerprints. You'll respond with faith and boldness. Others will wonder why they missed it. They'll look back months from now and say, "I felt something around that time, but I wasn't sure." They'll see the opportunities that came and went. They'll watch others step into their seasons of favor and wonder why nothing ever seems to work out for them. The difference isn't luck. It's not favoritism. It's positioning. What is for you will find you, but only if you're in position. What does positioning look like? It looks like the widow who gave her last 2 mites because she trusted God's provision over her circumstances. It looks like David, who picked up 5 smooth stones not because he planned to miss, but because he was prepared for whatever came next. Positioning is spiritual readiness, married to practical action. You can't sit on your couch for 7 days and expect the shift to find you there. You can't keep the same routines, the same conversations, the same fearful mindset and wonder why nothing changes. God is about to move mountains in your life, but mountains don't move around comfort zones. Here's what I'm seeing in the spirit for the next 7 days, and this is going to challenge some of you. The phone call you've been dreading, make it. The apology you've been postponing, deliver it. The dream you've been calling impossible, take one concrete step toward it. Because when divine favor begins to flow, it flows toward movement, toward faith in action, toward people who are willing to step out before they see the bridge. Think about Peter walking on water. Matthew 14:29 tells us, "Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on water, and came toward Jesus." He didn't see the miracle first and then believe. He believed first and then saw the miracle. That's what the next 7 days require of you. The shift isn't going to accommodate your fear. It's not going to wait for you to feel ready. It's coming whether you're prepared or not, whether you believe it or not, whether you participate or not. But participation is where the power is. I'm going to tell you something that might shock you. Some of you have been praying for breakthrough for years, and it's been delayed not because God said no, but because you weren't ready to handle what you asked for. The business opportunity you've been seeking, it requires a level of confidence you haven't developed yet. The relationship you've been longing for, it demands emotional maturity you haven't cultivated. The ministry calling on your life, it needs character that only comes through refined fire. The last 7 years of your life haven't been punishment. They've been preparation. And now, finally, preparation meets opportunity. 7 days from now, you're going to start seeing the return on every investment of faith you've made. Every tear you've cried in secret, every time you chose to forgive when revenge felt better, every moment you praised God in the darkness, it's all been building to this shift. But I need you to do something right now. I need you to make a decision that will determine how the next 7 days unfold for you. Don't just watch this message and go back to life as usual. This is your burning bush moment. This is your Red Sea parting. Your walls of Jericho are about to fall, but only if you're willing to march. Will you march, or will you miss it? Comment right now. I'm ready for the shift. Not tomorrow, not when you feel more confident. Right now, let heaven know you're participating in your own breakthrough. And remember, beloved, the 16th of July is not the end of this story. It's the divine beginning of everything you've been waiting for. The question is, will you be ready when it arrives? Yesterday stirred you. Today separates you. You came back. Out of millions of voices calling for your attention, out of 1,000 distractions pulling at your soul, you return to this message. Do you know what that means? Do you understand the significance of what just happened in the spiritual realm? Your obedience opened a door. What began as a whisper is now a trumpet. The gentle stirring you felt 24 hours ago has become a roar that's shaking the very foundations of your spirit. And if you're honest, brutally honest, you can't ignore it anymore. The restlessness isn't random. The sleepless nights aren't coincidence. The dreams that wake you up at 3:17 a.m. aren't your imagination. Heaven is calling your name, and the 16th of July is the deadline for your response. But here's what breaks my heart: most people will miss it. They'll be too busy, too distracted, too afraid to step through the gate that's standing wide open right in front of them. The veil is torn, beloved, and you are standing between what was and what must be. Remember Jesus in the garden, the agony, the sweat like drops of blood, the desperate prayer. Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. He knew the gate was open. He knew the moment had come. He knew there was no turning back. Matthew records it perfectly. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. The door was shut. Do you hear that? The finality in those words, the weight of missed opportunity, the sound of divine timing closing for those who weren't prepared. The 16th of July is your gate, your moment, your divine appointment that's been written in heaven's calendar since before you took your first breath. But I need to tell you something that might shake you. This isn't about comfort. This isn't about gentle encouragement. This is about survival. Spiritual survival. The world you knew, the world where you could stay comfortable, where you could delay your calling, where you could make excuses, that world is ending. And what's coming requires a different version of you. A surrendered version, a fearless version, a version that says yes to God even when it costs everything. You feel that weight in your chest right now, don't you? That holy pressure that makes it hard to breathe. That's not anxiety. That's the weight of destiny pressing down on your spirit. That's heaven saying, the time for preparation is over. The time for action has begun. And here's the truth that religious people don't want to hear. Not everyone who calls themselves chosen will make it through this gate. Jesus himself said, many are called, but few are chosen. The gate is narrow, the way is hard, and most will turn back when the cost becomes clear. So let me ask you the question that will define your eternity. Are you ready to leave behind everything that's keeping you comfortable but spiritually dead? That job that pays well but kills your soul, are you ready to walk away? That relationship that feels familiar but drains your spirit, are you ready to release it? That version of yourself that everyone expects but God never called dare, you ready to bury it? Because the 16th of July won't accept half-hearted commitments. It won't honor lukewarm decisions. It demands everything or nothing. I've walked with God for 50 years, and I've never felt an urgency like this. The spiritual atmosphere is electric. The heavenly realms are mobilizing. Angels are taking their positions. And the enemy is in absolute panic because he knows his time is short. You want to know why you can't sleep? why your spirit feels like it's on fire, why you keep checking your phone hoping for a word from heaven, because your spirit recognizes what your mind hasn't caught up to. Yet the greatest move of God in your lifetime is about to begin. But it requires warriors, not spectators. It demands the broken, not the perfect. It calls the surrendered, not the self-sufficient. David knew this feeling, standing before Goliath, everyone telling him he was too young, too small, too inexperienced. But David heard something they couldn't hear: the sound of heaven's approval. The Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. That same delivering power is available to you on the 16th of July. But you have to step through the gate. Moses felt this weight at the burning bush. Every excuse, every fear, every reason why he wasn't qualified, God swept them all away with one declaration: I am has sent you. Esther faced this moment when Mordecai said, "Who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" The gate was open. The moment was now. And her choice would determine the survival of an entire nation. Your choice on the 16th of July will determine more than you realize. Not just your future, but the future of everyone connected to your calling. The children who need your wisdom, the broken who need your healing, the lost who need your light. The gate is open, but it won't stay open forever. If you feel it again, the weight, the shaking, the holy ache in your bonus type, I'm still here. That alone is obedience. That simple declaration tells heaven you haven't given up. You haven't walked away. You're still listening for the sound of your name being called. Because what's about to unfold will separate the truly chosen from the merely curious. And I need to know, when the 16th of July dawns and heaven looks down at earth, will you be standing at the gate, or will you be one of the millions who turned back when the cost became clear? You know what terrifies me? Not death, not poverty, not even losing everyone I love. What terrifies me is standing before the throne of God and hearing him say, I gave you every sign. I sent every warning, but you were too busy to listen. There are Kairos windows in time, moments that don't repeat. Ever. You get one shot, and when it's gone forever. The 16th of July isn't just another date circled on your kitchen calendar. It's a Kairos moment, a divine intersection where heaven touches earth and everything changes. God's not working on the world's time, beloved. He's on eternity's clock, and it just ticked. You feel it, don't you? That restlessness that won't let you sleep, that heaviness in your chest when you wake up. Some of you have been seeing 3:33 a.m. every night this week, staring at those glowing numbers like they're trying to tell you something. It's not insomnia. It's not a glitch in your sleep cycle. It's a signal. Your body knows what your mind is still denying. The countdown has begun. Let me ask you something that might shake you. How many times has God tried to get your attention this year? How many coincidences have you explained away? How many dreams have you dismissed? How many whispers from heaven have you called worry? The Bible tells us in Isaiah 55:11, My word shall not return unto me void. When God speaks, something happens. When he moves, the earth responds. Right now, at this very moment, his word is going forth concerning the 16th of July, and it will note it, cannot return empty. But here's what breaks my heart. Most people will miss it entirely. They'll sleep through the alarm. They'll be scrolling through Facebook when heaven is trying to download their destiny. They'll be arguing about politics while God is repositioning them for purpose. Don't be most people. The prophet Lot lived in Sodom, a city so corrupt that God decided to wipe it off the map. But because Abraham interceded, God sent angels to warn Lot's family. Genesis 19:15 says, When morning dawned, the angels urged Lot, saying, Up, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, or you will be swept away in the punishment of the city. The angels didn't knock twice. They didn't send a follow-up text. They didn't schedule a meeting for next Tuesday. When judgment was coming, hesitation meant death. Lot's wife looked back for just one moment. Just one glance at what she was leaving behind, and she became a pillar of salt. When fire falls, hesitation is deadly. I need you to understand something that will either terrify you or liberate you. We are living in Lot's moment right now. The angels are at the door, the countdown has started, and God is saying, "Up! Don't look back, don't hesitate, don't wait for a better time, because there isn't a better time. This is it." You want to know why you can't sleep? Why your dreams are so vivid? Why certain scriptures are jumping off the page at you? Why you're suddenly thinking about people you haven't thought about in years? Your spirit is picking up on something massive that's about to break loose in the realm of the spirit. The 16th of July isn't when something begins, it's when something that's already been building in the heavenlies finally manifests on earth. The train has left the station, beloved. The only question is, are you on it? Look at your life right now. Really look. What's been shaking? What relationships are suddenly strained for no reason? What situations are falling apart that used to feel stable? What doors are slamming shut that you thought would stay open forever? That's not attack, that's alignment. God is clearing the deck. He's removing everything that would distract you from what He's about to do. But if you don't recognize it as divine preparation, you'll fight it. You'll try to fix what God is dismantling. You'll try to save what heaven is burying. The prophet Samuel told King Saul in 1 Samuel 15:23, "Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry." When God says move, and you say wait, that's not wisdom, that's rebellion. When heaven says let go, and you grip tighter, that's not love, that's idolatry. Time is not neutral anymore, dear one. Every day you delay is a day closer to missing your moment. Every excuse you make is another step away from your destiny. Every time you say tomorrow or next week or when things settle down, you're gambling with divine timing. And God doesn't reset the clock because you weren't ready. Here's what I need you to do right now, and I mean right now. Don't wait until the video ends. Don't wait until you finish your coffee. Type these words with trembling hands if you must. Lord, don't let me miss it, because delay is not neutral anymore. The countdown has begun, and every second matters. The question that will determine your entire future is this. When the 16th of July arrives, will you be running toward your destiny, or will you still be making excuses about why you're not ready? Beloved, as we come to the end of this divine encounter, I need you to remember 3 things that could change everything for you. First, the 16th of July isn't about fear, it's about faith. God isn't trying to scare you, He's trying to prepare you. Every restless night, every stirring in your spirit, every moment of uncertainty you've been feeling, it's all been heaven's way of getting you ready for something beautiful. Second, the shift isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. What looks like chaos is actually divine order. What feels like an ending is really a beginning. God is clearing the way for blessings you haven't even dreamed of yet. And third, you are not walking this path alone. The same God who parted the Red Sea, who made the sun stand still for Joshua, who raised Jesus from the dead, that same God is working in your life right now. He hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't abandoned you. He's been orchestrating every detail of your story to bring you to this moment. I want you to know that this community, these thousands of chosen ones watching right now, we're not just viewers, we're family, we're warriors standing together in prayer. When you comment below, you're not just typing words, you're joining voices with believers who understand your struggle, who felt the same stirring, who know what it means to be called for something greater. Let me ask you this. When you look back on the 16th of July a year from now, what story do you want to tell? Will it be the day you stepped into your destiny, or the day you let fear keep you in the shadows? The choice is yours, but you don't have to make it alone. Right now, I want to pray over every single person watching this. Wherever you are, in your living room, in your car, in your bedroom at 3 a.m., I want you to feel God's presence surrounding you. Father, I lift up every precious soul who has stayed with us through this message. You know their names, you know their struggles, You know the burdens they've been carrying. Lord, as the 16th of July approaches, I pray you would give them supernatural peace. Remove every spirit of fear, every whisper of doubt, every lie that says they're not worthy of your calling. God, place your hand upon their shoulders right now. Let them feel your strength when they feel weak, your hope when they feel discouraged, your love when they feel forgotten. Open their eyes to see the doors you're opening. Unstop their ears to hear your voice clearly. Give them boldness to step forward when you say, move. For those who are tired, refresh them. For those who are confused, bring clarity. For those who are afraid, flood them with courage. Let the 16th of July be remembered as the day everything changed for the better, the day they said yes to your perfect plan. In Jesus' mighty name, Amen. Before you go, I need you to do something important. If this message touched your heart, if you felt God speaking to you through these words, don't keep it to yourself. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Comment below and tell us what God is stirring in your spirit. Ask questions. We're here to pray with you and walk with you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and ring that notification bell. This community is growing because God is raising up His chosen ones, and we need to stay connected as we move into this new season together. Remember, beloved, you're not just watching a video, you're part of a movement. You're part of God's plan, and the best is yet to come. Until we meet again, keep your eyes on heaven, your feet on the ground, and your heart open to the miraculous. You are loved. You are chosen. You are ready. The shift is here, and so are you.